Yeah, I got a house, I got a car, I built a life. I got a family I struggled for, I made it right. Cause things can happen, I don't take it light. Despite the possibility of tragedy, I kept my family tight. The life you fought to have, the goals you grab. It only makes good sense to secure your bag. Cause when you recognize you gotta have it, you're tuning in to Nancy Cabot. Words like magic, heard the system's dynamic. Learn before it's tragic, manage use the bureaucratic. Before it get dramatic, yeah. And I ain't even tell you the half, but I'ma point you to the path to ensure your bag for real. Yeah. Hey.
We are back. Kool Kim had to take care of something real quick.
Yeah, so, what went on is that I own my property. I managed to get this house. I got this house. I moved from New York to Augusta, Georgia. Found a house for $8,000. You heard? Taught myself how to do everything from framing and everything, man. Like electrical, plumbing, you name it, I know how to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I ain't really mess with is HVAC, and that's what all them boxes over to the left that y'all can't see are about. This is me about to learn HVAC, you know what I'm saying? So I outright own my home, but one of the things about owning your own home is, and I remember when I bought my first home years ago in Maryland, I remember when we closed on the house, and so my real estate is my man, you know what I'm saying, that's my dude Bill, I can't think his last name, but he was like, yo, all right, man, congratulations, here's your keys, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, wait a minute, where's the instructions at? Mm-hmm. There ain't no instruction booklet, they ain't no class or nothing. Like, how do you turn this house? Like, how do you turn the house on? Mm-hmm. He's like, yo, you gotta turn the power. It just don't come with no manual. It don't come with no instructions. There's no maintenance man that you call. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't call the plumber, you can't call the electrician, but you're paying these dudes a pretty penny to call them. You understand what I'm saying? And so you have to do these things yourself. That's why a lot of people want new construction, new thing like that. But even in new construction, the way that America is, man, everything's shoddy, man, because it's about making money over quality. It's all money pursuits, right? Mm-hmm. And so you can't really trust that anything you get. Like, you better off getting an older house that's been around for 50 years and standing tall and strong, because that's made with the old pine that's rugged, strong, old growth pine, and it's got plaster walls, and it's been through 50 winters and been just as warm and cuddly and cozy as been since day one. New joints, drafty and all kind of carrying on, like I said, right? Now, a kind of capitalist society we live in. Something against capitalism, but like, not that I hate capitalism, it's just tyrannical capitalism is bad, because it creates this oligarch sort of situation where it's about money over everything, and money justifies everything. So you can't afford to have people come in and help you with your stuff. It becomes difficult to manage. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In my case, I own a house that didn't cost me nothing, really to buy. So I did all the renovations and stuff. I helped myself because that's what I could afford to do. The problem with that is, if something goes wrong, I gotta go fix that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in the middle of redoing my roof, and I'm in the middle of redoing my roof, and it's raining. So you can only imagine. The top was folded over because, you know what I'm saying, we got the wrong type of top. Got a big giant top, but it's medium duty, so it ain't holding up the way it's supposed to, and this and that, and I'm climbing up on the roof. It's thundering and lightning, so I'm over here scared as hell because I'm scared of thunder hitting me. It's gonna be talking about people get killed out here behind that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, oh man, let me hurry up and do this. But that's, and and it's funny because as I was up there doing it, I was thinking about y'all, coming back in here and finishing this discussion. And it alludes back to what I was saying about my experiences in the music industry. Is that's what it is to be by yourself and doing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? My wife and my daughter was up at the Walmart, so it wasn't like she was here to help me do anything. You know what I mean? I have a house guest and my oldest son are here, but they are non-responsive. Mm-hmm. You understand? So there were people here that could have helped me, but there were no use in terms of help. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there was no help from that. So there's people around you but they were no use. And yeah, you know, and the people that could have helped me, that would have helped me, weren't available to me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm by myself. So yeah, I got it fixed. And I stopped the deluge of water making it into the house. But I've already potentially let the television get damaged, in theory, because of the amount of water that came in. Already damaged, already happened. Water already made its way in. You understand what I'm saying? And so they're mopping up water off the floor right now and putting tin, you know, the pots and stuff to catch the residual water that's dripping into the household. You understand? And what is it that I'm trying to express is that that's the nature of what a lot of artists, a lot of people are going through. People in general will be going through this, which is you're fighting a battle and you're fighting it by yourself. And you're fighting institutions. You're fighting things that have already been established to do whatever that institution's intent is to do. So if that institution's intent is to jerk you as an individual for your money, and yeah, you get this great opportunity to travel around the world and sing your song that you always wish you could sing in front of people, yeah, that's great, but on the backside, they're not making sure that they're not gonna pay you. If they can take every dime out of the situation, they will. Because they're betting on a sure thing, and the sure thing is to just take everything they can in the first go-around, not to develop you as this great artist that can have a 20-year career where y'all can both be in part business together and, you know, you make a lot of money. They ain't got banking on that. They're banking on, man, if we get 1-2 hits out of them, we can make $1.5 million off of this transaction. And if we can't make that much, we can write it off in our taxes. Well, if you're up against an institution that's thinking that way, there's no amount of how smart you was or how many books you read that's going to put you in a position to be able to effectively combat what's up against you. You're really pitting hope against hope at that point. And some of us make it, and when we make it, we misperceive what's happening as if we did that because we were so smart. You're thinking that the things that you did was what facilitated you made it. But what truth is that you were just chosen. Or you were in bed with the right person that could make that selection, and now he's the one that's going next. But we could go on any social media and see randomly hundreds of people that are considerably more talented than anybody in the top 100 right now on Billboard charts. Easy bread. We could find 100 for every one of the 100 on Billboard that are considerably more talented than each individual. So we can find 100 individuals for 100 people. That's how it has nothing to do with talent and ability. It has to do with who selects you, who you with and all of that. And people don't be wanting to accept that that's true, because then it means like, yo, dreaming of being in this, the dream becomes tainted. Like, you're like, oh man, nah, I don't believe that, because I know if I just, yeah, all right, fam, all right. And you might, because you might get selected. Just like there's somebody that plays the lotto every day, plays the Mega Million every day. But oddly enough, nobody in their community ever wins that Mega Million in that area. It's always somewhere else where they win the Mega Million for some reason, but it's never in them stores you go to. Ain't nobody won more than about $5. Somebody won $5. The big hit was somebody won $5,000 out of one of the stores in the neighborhood. No one ever win to hit the number for real in your community. And you can't figure out why that is. You're unwilling to accept that it's because it's rigged. And it's best to do it yourself. But if you do it yourself, you may be out on the roof when it's raining, trying to cover over your roof with a tarp to keep it from flooding your house, because that's the nature of doing it yourself. And that is what people call a beautiful struggle, because at the end of the day, even though all this, literally, like Annie, little Orphan Annie used to say, the sun will come out tomorrow, quite literally. And the damage is not so significant that I need to be tripping, right? And I will finish this roof, and it will look beautiful, and everything will be functional and everything. But that it's still a challenge, that it's still hard, that there's a lot of people that this would have been it for them.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been the point where they'd have had to stop. This would have been the point that they just came in here crying like, yo, I can't take this no more. Yo, complaining about why this ain't like this and why this got to be like that for them. And yo, this is what's messed up. And this is why I hate this. Or they look at it like for like, you know, how I was like, yo, you know, y'all was like, yo, you know, my bad. Cause no, my bad. Because this is my situation. Mm-hmm. I know what I got to do for myself. I've got to be that disciplined. And so when you endeavor upon doing things for yourself, because you can't engage the institutions that exist and that the infrastructure that you're working within is not built to work for you, right? Mm-hmm. You have to think about the fact that, yo, fam, everything's on me. Everything's got to be my fault. I was not disciplined enough. I wasn't, you know, I didn't do this enough. I didn't time manage well enough. I went to the mosque, I made Eid. All right, cool, after Eid was done, I was supposed to change my clothes immediately and climb up there and get that done. Well, I was tired. I'm just as tired. But in the face of imminent disaster, the adrenaline kicking, I needed that adrenaline kicking then. That's how that goes. And when you're able to do that, right? And again, I'm usually like, in this conversation, like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm pissed, but I'm good, right? I'm good. Like I said, the sun literally will come out tomorrow. By the time I get in the house will be as clean as it's gonna be for the time being. This is all gonna get reconciled. This ain't no, it's nothing like, nah. But in the moment of it, right? Because the frustration of experiencing it in the moment, and then also having the desire to articulate a part of life that no one's talking about. You understand? But this is the part of life that's happening all the time. This is the part of life everybody's experiencing on some level or the other. Mm-hmm. That there's this part of it that's a struggle that it's almost impossible to articulate, because when you go to, you just sound like you're complaining or you're whining. Or some smart aleck is going to try to make it sound like, nah, well, you know, well, you should have. I Monday night quarterback, but you don't have none of that. You've done none of that. Mm-hmm. You don't own your own house. You don't outright own your house. You know what I'm saying? You didn't build your house from scratch. You didn't do that. You can't do that. Mm-hmm. So how are you Monday night quarterback and what I should have done when you couldn't? You're not man enough or woman enough to even do that. So you're not like, but that's. So, you know, like, whereas I'm identifying the difficulties of the situation, because I think that we sell people this pie in the sky ideal of what life could be and what you're supposed to do and how easy it is to do this, that, and the third. But the devil's in the details. Mm-hmm. That's where the devil is going to be exposed. That's where you're going to find out what was we really doing. You ain't know what these people was doing. Look, I'll give you a great example. We looking at all these people that we is big famous stars that we all loving, and this one is this one and that one's that one, and you probably dissing your friend that was trying to put his little music out that he couldn't get no way. Like, what's up with your little music? You know what I'm saying? Unbeknownst to you though, now here it is 20 years later, 30 years later, you finding out how much baby oil and how much oil or whatever else was going on at these parties that people was going to, and how people was getting turned out and videotaped and drugged out. There, but for the grace of God, go out. That you didn't end up in that situation. You know what I'm saying? But you're not realizing that the devil's in the detail. You just thinking that these cats be on the show, they be on the thing talking on an interview like that, like they these mastermind geniuses that they just prayed to God and had faith, and they were so talented, and this is why everything just fell into place for them. Unbeknownst to us, somebody had to literally turn them out, made a hand puppet out of them. Quite literally. You understand what I'm saying? And here it is, Joe Schmo from Mexico is watching the interview, and he's convinced that this is all that's going to take to blow. So he put his little money together and go into the studio and try to make something of himself. He don't know that he's praying to God to place him in these parties and these places and spaces where these people occupy. And he don't understand why God don't never put him in them places. And then one day he's 50 years old, 52 years old, whatever, and he's watching television. And he's almost brought to tears because he harkens to them days where he cried in his room, praying to be in these parties, praying to be amongst these people. That if he only could get to meet them, and if they got to know him, they would love him, and he'd be a great guy, and he could really work and do great stuff with him. And then he come to find out that this is what these people had to do. And all he could do is drop to his knees and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he never was placed in those rooms. Thank God for the prayers he don't answer. You heard? Thank God for the prayers he don't answer. You did? I'm going to say it again. Thank God for the prayers he don't answer. So, when you hear somebody talking to you, sometimes, man, we get caught up in, like, the fantasy of success. And that's exactly what it is. Mad of these people that was on these shows that was talking about their success did not tell that part of the story and still will not until they get indicted or their name pop up on some Jeffrey Epstein list. Then they will tell that part of the story, but they'll be telling it to try to avoid criminal charges for the filth and garbage that they did in the name of becoming whatever success that they lied about themselves being, that they were picked to be, right? It'd be the guy like myself that'll come on these discussions and have an honest discussion with you about, yo, nah, man, these are the mistakes that I made, man. And this is how this works. And yo, yeah, this is a struggle, man. This is hard. Like, I gotta get up and do this. And it's hard to have to find people to help you make music together, and then you gotta edit, and you learn how to teach yourself how to shoot, edit, and color correct video, and sequence the beats, and then the this and that, and then you gotta, how does this, I gotta put these things together. It's hard to do that, right? But what we've been programmed in this country to hear is that when somebody say that to us, we think that's failure. The best person to talk to about a thing you getting into is somebody got their ass kicked by that thing. Because that person knows probably more about what you're going to experience than what 15-year-old so-and-so that got fast-tracked into the situation is going to know. They're going to speak a bunch of platitudes and one-liners. That's why if you ever hear these people talk about success, it's always wild, vague. Yo, son, well, right? You just got to have faith. First off, you got to have faith. Because you got to have faith. You got to believe, because God is going to see you through, brother. All right? And then, also, it's really about, you got to read the books, man. See, I came into this situation with knowledge. And so, when I met, come on, son, that's wild, vague. You ever notice the story? It always is, I was from rags to riches. It's never what happened in between, fam. What did you do from, wait a minute, hold on. You was in the same situation I'm in right now. You was in the same situation I'm in right now. How did you go from that? How did you even get the money together to be able to facilitate doing the next things you did to even get you on track to do the other thing? So they don't want to tell you the story about how they sold drugs, or they danced up and down a strip pole, or how much of their own ass they had to sell to do it. So you thinking that this person, when they talking in these platitudes, they speaking success. They not speaking success. They speaking lies and falsehoods. And it's of little value to us as a community. And we need to individually recognize that for ourselves, right? Individually, you watching, you need to know that for yourself so that you can start to filter the truth of the world and start to listen to the voices that are speaking to you in honest tones about the things. Not in a tone that you like. Not in a tone that sound smooth, rub you soft on the butt. You get a little, nice little, how you do the baby start carrying on you, lay on you. Come on, then they rub a little booty and just a little say until you knock them out. Like that's what everybody want to hear about their dreams, and that's not the dream conversation. That's not a baby butt pat. The dream conversation is an ass kicking. That's a go get me something to spank you with conversation. Because that's what you got to know for that. Go get me something to spank you with, because this is going to kick your ass, is what this is going to do. So if you're not tough enough to handle this ass kicking that you're going to live with until such thing exists, the thing that you're dreaming of manifests, then you might want to just go get you this 9 to 5 and let you might want to just be an ant in the anthill and just do the thing that the ants do. There's nothing against that because you could facilitate a beautiful life for yourself. I sometimes regret not being an ant because I could have done the things that I wanted to do for my wife and my kids, that chasing the dreams that I chased, the independence that I chased, did not allow for.
Mm-hmm. So what role do you think collaboration plays in the modern music industry, not just in terms of making music, but also in marketing, distribution, and business partnerships?
All right, so no man is an island, right? And no woman is either. And so it's incumbent upon people to network horizontally, first and foremost. So, all right, Kool Kim from UMCs. I got #1 records in my experiences. I have 2 careers where most people couldn't achieve it one time. I did it twice. I'm on the 3rd time right now. I travel around the world. I know how to make a song. I can rhyme my ass off. I can do this thing. Can't do it by myself though. You understand? I need to work with people that are on my level. Not that have done or have the same accolades that I have, but we're in the same space temporally and actually in our movement, in our processes as we're trying to achieve goals that are similarly, equally yoked. You know, when they talk about someone being equally yoked, they think that it means equality. Like me and you, we both are into business. And so this would make a great pairing because, we both got these aspirations to do business, so we should get together. Nah, you're in a business and I'm an enabler. Uh-huh. Yo, I see a vision. I love what you do. You're like, to me, everything you do is super dope. I love it, right? Uh-huh. And so I'm into it. Like, I'm so inspired by you as an individual. I'm proud of you. I love being near you and watching it. I don't do none of that crap. I'm not nothing like that. But you needed help with the thing, I could help you with that. Uh-huh. And get that done for you. You can't do that stuff. I could do all the minutiae stuff. You can't do that. Uh-huh. You a peacock, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a different sort of bird. I'm a crow, you understand? So I don't show well. You heard? Mm-hmm. But boy, I'm sharp as a razor because I can get it done. I can actually use tools, you know what I mean? And you can strut around and you're gorgeous doing it. And you give us all the attention we need. And when you do your thing, you do your thing. And me, I know how to grab one of them little sticks with my little beak or with my little claw and put it in the anthill and then snatch it out when all the ants grab on it and I eat them ants and keep us fed. Like I could do that. I could do stuff that you couldn't think to do. And I believe in you, and that's what makes us a good parent. Mm-hmm. That's what equally yoked is, because when you yoke a cattle, you want 2 cattle that they balance each other, not that they're the same thing. One might have maybe right leaning, you know what I mean, or weak on its right side. Mm-hmm. So you got one that's strong on its right, or you switch them in the right position. So now when you yoke them up on that thing, mm-hmm. the little harness that you carry, put 2 cattle in, mm-hmm. when you having them like do the tilling of the soil, mm-hmm. they balanced in the yoke, and so that they walk even and sure and effectively, and they don't tire one out over the other. Mm-hmm. That's what equally yoked means. So you need to have relationships with people who are equally yoked to you, and so networking horizontally. Oftentimes what we do, we try to network to the people we meant to pitch to, mm-hmm. and we try to, and what we should be doing is networking with people that's on our level. You get you somebody, trying to do some music videos. Let me work with somebody that's in the same part of their journey as I'm in. That's how they're horizontal, not from what the accolades are, how much bread they got. It's like, we kind of in the same space. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get with some dude that's an established videographer and they used to making, they need $1,000 to shoot. You try and pitch this person to do this freebie idea for you. That's not a horizontal network. Mm-hmm. And so when you do that, what you can do is surround yourself with people who are already personally motivated and mobilized to do the things that they're already doing, that align with the things that you're doing, and then together you 2 or 3 or 4 or that unit are now a bunch of people aligned in thought, and together y'all can achieve things together. And what that is as Dr. Ron Daniels taught me, is what's called cooperation without consolidation. So we can agree to cooperate on things, but I don't have to now absorb your thing, and you don't have to absorb my thing, or we don't have to be absorbed into some other thing, right? In order for us to cooperate. You can be Nancy Cabot with Insure Your Bag, and I could be Kool Kim of One Eye Ogre Music and do the things that I'm doing and down with the home team. We could all be down with the home team because we just calling, yo, it's the home team. That's somebody, that's a friend of ours. It's not a friend of mine, it's a friend of ours. This is somebody, she good. That's home team right there. But I ain't getting on no weekly meetings. Sit on the phone for an hour and a half. I got things to do, you got things to do. But if I call up and say, hey, Nancy, look, I'm doing Beats and Bars Barbecue and I want you to get involved. Hey, listen, what do you feel about doing this? And if that works within your frame of action, you can say, yeah, I can do that. I can make a quick decision on that because I already know what I'm doing this year, and that works for what I'm doing this year.
All right. You ready? I have to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your insurance knowledge?
My insurance knowledge is a solid 2.
2.
Now, I will say that I'm gonna say why I think it's 2. If you know, may I?
Sure.
Because I don't understand the fine print. I think that my relationship to insurance is purely and completely as an end user at the best. Now, have I had insurance situations where having insurance and being thankful that I had it, how it worked for my benefit, how that worked for me? Oh, yeah. Do I have vehicles that are insured and understand the difference between one insurance into the next? Yes, I do understand that perfectly. Do I understand the value of being insured? Yeah, I even had my social media Instagram account insured for a time until the company closed. So yeah, I'm very acquainted with that. But that would only account for 2% worth of, or 20% of that 10 to me. You understand? I don't understand how to manipulate insurance for my benefit. I don't understand how to turn it into a tool that can do more for me. Every so often I run into a reel of somebody talking about something, and they be talking like, you could loan against your insurance, or you could do this, or you could do that, and have this insured this way, and this does this, and or the extent of what insurances you need. I'm having an event at my house April 25th called Beats and Bars Barbecue. There's going to be a myriad amount of people, and there's be roughly 100 people here, God willing. I have to not only protect my home, but I got to protect the people that's come to my home, because I'll be liable for something that happened to them. I don't understand that. Wow. So I'll be somebody that's, and this is why I think this podcast is so important. And again, this is why I'm being so honest about my discussion. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being mindful. I don't want to look like a screw up, right? But, I just think a lot of people who are in the same situation, they keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll keep it quiet that's what they doing. But they won't be real about it like, yo, son, I'm doing the same shit. I got to get this together. Nobody want to eat that. I want this to change about me. So I'm happy to speak to it publicly. I don't care, because it's the only way squeaky wheel get the oil, yo. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying this is the pitfall of it when you're doing stuff by yourself, is that you can't be everything, man. You can't be everything to everybody, right? You can't be everything to one person. You can't be everything to yourself, because you don't know everything. You only know what you know. And generally only know what you're passionate about or have an interest in. You dig? So I'm not gonna, you ever call somebody up and they talking to you nasty on the phone because you calling them for help on something that clearly they supposed to be the specialist on? Hi, ma'am, I'm calling to see about, I'm trying to just figure out what's going on with my account, because I called up yesterday and ma'am, you should, you'd be like, whoa. You know, so I used to do when I get on the phone with them, I used to be like, they start talking to me and I said, be like, well, I'm sorry. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to change the distance when you have to recalibrate the system after there's a system reboot? No, sir, I don't understand what you're talking about. I know you don't understand what I'm talking about because I'm a tech support specialist. That's what I do for a living. I don't do what you do for a living. That's why I'm calling you for help, ma'am, because I don't know this. You know this. So can you help me? Because I don't know this. So I need that's why help. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. You only know what you know. You ever have a question about something that you don't know it so much that you don't even know? You're so stupid about it that you don't even know what to ask. Like, I don't know nothing about this. I don't even know. I can't even search engine this because I don't even know. You ever try to search for something that you don't know what it is at all?
Right.
Like, yo, what's the blue thingy that you put under the thing, under the seat of the car? And then you pray that there was someone just as dumb as you that found an answer. And then someone like, yo, the blue thing, and they'd be like, oh, no, do you mean the so-and-so that goes under the center? You're like, whoo, thank God. I'm not the only idiot out here. That's me in insurance. But that's me in a lot of things. And that's a lot of us in a lot of things. And so, again, here's where networking horizontally works. Because I have a relationship with somebody that knows insurance. And she can help me secure my bag. And that's why I'm here today.
Well, I'm about to ask you some questions.
Get to it.
And we're going to test your insurance knowledge.
Well, you go already out. I failed!
True or false? As an artist in the music industry, should you have your own business insurance?
Yes. You should have either LLC or a corporation because you need to create some distance between yourself and tragedy. And so if something happens, you need to be doing everything through your business. So if you go and do like say, for example, you go and do a concert, and there's a tragedy at the concert, you don't want to be personally held liable for said tragedy. So they would have to first go after your corporation because that was who was the one that hired everybody, or your trust. That was who hired everybody. And then at that point, your corporation has its own insurances to handle the impact, because you don't want to have to keep, tanking corporations because you have issues. You want to be able to address that. So, yeah, because you need distance between yourself and tragedy, yes.
All right, so you got that one right. So next question, true or false? General liability protects the artist from third-party claims of bodily injury, property damage, or accidents that may occur during performances, rehearsals, or events. True or false?
I'm not sure because I understood that there's specific insurances for performances and stuff like that and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to say false.
It's true.
Is it?
It is. And you just you touched on it. You just touched on it.
Yeah, because you know what though? Because like there are specific insurances that I thought. So I'm not going to simply try and sell it like it's, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what they are. But I recall instances where this came into play, and the way I understood it at that time, and this is years ago, was there's like, now you gotta get this insurance for this thing.
Well, there are different types of insurances, but like your broad basic insurance under a business policy is gonna be general liability.
Okay.
So like, for example, if a member of an audience is injured during a show, general liability insurance will help cover any legal or medical costs involved in that injury.
Dope.
Yeah. So, and general liability is like one of the main chunks of a business policy. So there's different components of it, but that's really what's going to protect you in case something happened. Like if you're performing and just something, whether somebody tripped over a cord or whatever the case may be in the audience and, they happen to get hurt. That's going to protect you, in case they decide they want to sue you or whatever the case may be. So, and that's one of the, in regards to, I don't want to get too much into it because we're definitely going to follow up and swing back around when I kind of dig more deep into it, but that is one of the basic components of a business policy.
Okay.
Okay.
You go, because I'm listening to you, and my mind is like, all right, so let me go. As soon as I get as soon as they get up out of here, I'm gonna have to. So I got to look and see what I got to do to get this thing going. So I'll be ready at least if nothing else with Beats and Bars Barbecue. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoo.
So next question.
Yeah.
Commercial auto insurance.
Okay.
Is used for A, your van registered to your business. B, your friend's car that is running business errands for you. C, your tour bus. D, your employee's car. Or E, all of the above.
I would go with E, all of the above.
Yes, you are right. So when it comes to commercial auto insurance, there's different symbols that you can have, so you could cater the insurance to what you need. So
Right.
you can cover just like your vehicle only, but you could also cover like a vehicle that's used in your business, but it's not owned by you. It's used by you, but it's not owned by you. So there's different symbols. So whenever you're talking to your agent about commercial auto insurance, you also want to always want to make sure that it's catered to what you have going on.
Right.
All right. Not doing pretty good.
Yeah. I
Not
only
too
didn't
bad.
get one wrong, but even that, I had something like I did know something,
All right. So
even though I was wrong.
true or false?
Whatever that means.
Tour insurance.
Yes.
A singer or rapper often tours to promote their music.
Yes.
Tour insurance covers a variety of risks associated with touring, such as canceled or postponed events due to illness, natural disasters, or unforeseen circumstances.
Right.
Is that true or false?
Give me a touring performance does what again? Just read it, but let me get that
Tour
part back.
insurance covers a variety of risks associated with touring, such as canceled or postponed events due to illness, natural disasters, or unforeseen circumstances.
I'm gonna say true.
You're correct. That's exactly what it is.
I didn't feel like it was true.
But that's exactly
But I
what
went with it
is.
though.
That's
I went with it only because at this point now, this all right. So remember at the beginning of this conversation, I was talking about how smart I am because I could figure something out. I have figured out the pattern of your questions at this point. So at this point, you could ask me any depth of question in insurance. I'm going to know the answer because I got you figured out, right?
Okay.
So I don't know that.
That's by design, though. I'm letting you know that's by design.
So you just throwing me softballs right now, and I'm trying to tell you that, because I thought though what my mind was saying was, well, I know that I'm thinking in terms of the same way general liability would have an impact on a chore. Or for a business, right? Like any number of things that can go wrong. Somebody hurt themselves on a property. There's a stampede. There's some, that kind of stuff. That sort of general liability would be able to engage that. Whereas tour insurance, I didn't know that it would cover, oh, so and so was under the weather, and they can't perform tonight, and well, the company has insurance, so everybody's losses are mitigated as a result. I didn't know that was so that's so I got it right, but I had it wrong. All right.
That was a good guess.
It was not so much.
It was educated.
It was not so much a good guess. It was an uninformed guess.
Okay.
As an uninformed, it was a misinformed. Whatever.
All right. True or false? Event cancellation insurance is for concerts or shows that are canceled or postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. Event cancellation insurance helps recover the lost income from ticket sales, sponsorships, or other revenue sources. True or false?
Yes.
Correct. It's true. It's true. So,
Let me show you how well I've learned how to work with your questions now. Now I'm not even answering the right answer. All right? And I'll still get it right. Yeah. These softballs is too soft, Nancy. Nah. But yeah, no, I know that to be true. That just seemed common sense. But would I have known that intuitively? Like if you just said, yo, you're doing this event, I plan on doing an event, would I have thought to myself that I need to go get this because that's what this thing does? No, I wouldn't even know that.
And one of the things I want to point out as well is that you have promoters out there, and so you're performing, and say there's multiple people performing,
right?
And something happens, so like a hurricane or like just whatever the case may be, something happens. You want to make sure that promoter has the right insurance in place.
Funny.
And depending on your contract that you have with that promoter.
Right, because funny enough, I'm thinking about, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the New Edition story. And they talk about when Johnny Gill got down, right? And Johnny was not moving like the rest of New Edition in them days. He was a straight-laced dude, church boy. You know what I mean? So he was at work on time. Him and Ricky was on it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just based on what I watched on the show, if I remember correct. And but they was wilding out so much, coming in the concert 2-3 hours late type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Coming in, wilding, you know what I mean? And at some point, cats got fed up with him and started suing him for millions of dollars, because these concerts, each one of these dates was worth that kind of money. And so when they got sued, they didn't sue Bobby, they didn't sue Ralph, they ain't sued Mike, they sued New Edition. That meant poor Johnny Gill and Ricky Bell as well. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got hit. So I'm imagining that if Johnny Gill as an individual had his own company that he was functioning in some level of capacity with New Edition, and then he had his own performance insurance and stuff like that, when cats try to hit him, he could be able to mitigate that situation with a lot less impact, instead of getting blown away like the rest of them may be. Is that true or false?
That's true. And that particular type of insurance is called errors and omissions. So basically what that insurance does is that you have a particular contract, okay? And with that particular contract, if you don't fulfill the agreements with that contract, then that insurance could kick in. And so when you're having those lawsuits happening, then you'll have, coverage as far as like legal and so forth. You'll have defense coverage in that.
You have the answer right. See, so let me do the rest of the questions, because my question was good though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to make sure as an artist, and like I said, I'm gonna dig deeper. So after the interview and so forth, after the podcast, I will be digging deeper, and I will be going into more detail about everything on some reels and so forth. So.
Yeah.
Next question: true or false? Look at you. You already know the answer, right? Intellectual property insurance or copyright infringement insurance is another name it goes by. Protects you against claims related to copyright violations.
Yeah, it's going to be true. That's true. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So this could cover defense and legal costs related to disputes over music samples, lyrics, or album art.
And again, if I'm keeping it tall, it's the name in and of itself infers what it's for, all right? But that notwithstanding, like, I'm over here going through a crisis of, like, I'm having a crisis over here, because I'm realizing how much of this stuff I don't have. You dig what I'm saying? Like, damn, son, like, yo, you just wide open. Like, this is like, see, like, yo, this is crazy because this is why I want you to have this discussion. Like, I'm gonna really lean into this too for Beats and Bars Barbecue because, yo, cats don't know nothing about this, yo. Like, they don't know nothing about it. There's no way, yo. There's no way. If cats know nothing about this, I need to kick some ass outside because cats is definitely gatekeeping some important information. People don't, it is obvious if you ask me in the question form. But 9 times out of 10, like, this is one of those things that I wouldn't have knew to even ask the question. I own copyrights on stuff. If somebody hit me and be like, yo, son, you using that sample in this song, you infringing on my copyright. I just gotta duck them like, yo, let me try.
Wrong number.
Word up, like, yo, who is? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I just be like, damn, dog, I ain't even know, yo. And there's so many of us. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only person that's in this position.
I'm sure you're not.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be the only. I hope I'm not the only one.
That's why this podcast is in place.
That's why it's important.
So that way I could talk to people about different industries and what insurance applies to what you're doing.
If you package this up right, this will go viral how ignorant Kool Kim is. But I'll be good. I'll follow my sword for that because, again, I think that even at the risk of even at the risk of it making me look like I'm inept in my business, right? And to an extent I am, because this is making it clear that I have such the fundamental and foundational knowledge that's necessary to protect my business interests. I have no idea even exists, right?
So it's all about insuring your bag. We're definitely insuring it, securing it. So my next question is, does equipment insurance cover the theft or loss of equipment such as instruments, audio gear,
I know about that.
Production tools, and so forth?
Yeah, I know about that one. So yeah, I do know about equipment insurance.
Okay, and this protects you while you're traveling or on tour. So whatever the case may be, as long as it's moving and working, then
I know about it, but I wouldn't have got it. Like, I wouldn't have got equipment insurance.
But it's true.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. All right, so let me ask you a question. Or go ahead, ask the rest of them, and then I just... Because I'm long-winded, so everything you ask me is like turns into a 15-minute answer. So.
All right, next question. What does cyber insurance... Now, I know you're going to get this one right. What does cyber insurance protect you against? A, hackers. B, the Borg.
The Borg?
The Borg.
The Borg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's probably that.
C, data breaches.
Mm-hmm.
D, the IRS. E, A and C. Answers A and C. A was hackers, C was data breaches. So A, hackers, B, the Borg, C, data breaches, D, the IRS, or E, A and C.
I'm going to go with D, the IRS. Nah, it's obviously A and C, yo.
Thank you.
God,
you know this
yeah,
one. Yes,
go on,
that's
yo.
right, A and C.
Come on now.
All right. So, what business advice would you give emerging artists who are trying to break into the industry? What business advice?
All right, so I'm going to say this. The business advice that I would give young people, anybody that's getting into any business, because I've owned brick and mortar businesses as well, is that allow your passion to drive you. Allow your vision to motivate you. Allow your desire to succeed to humble you. And what I mean by that is, you don't want to be 53 years old trying to make moves and be in the middle of a freaking interview being humbled within yourself. Not because you're saying anything that's bad, but because as I'm listening and I'm thinking about where I'm sitting in how I'm conducting my business, I am woefully ill prepared to do my business. And there's this whole section of protecting and insuring my bag that I am not doing. And it's enough that when you've traveled 20 miles, like you ever go someplace and you forget your wallet, and it's like you just got to abort mission now, because it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go back home, because to go home to get the wallet and then come back, it's gonna be closed by the time I come out. It ain't even nothing to point to it. Well, that's what it feels like to be in a business. You've been in this thing for all this time, and then discover there's this whole litany of things that you got to figure out about that you don't know how to do. Or you haven't prepared yourself to have to engage those things. What's there going to be? Listen, you named off at least 4 insurances that I need to have together in the name of Beach and Bars Barbecue. General insurance, general liability, I need that. And then I got to figure out how to do that for my household, because I'm doing an event as a business, but I'm doing it out of my home. So I got to figure out what the minutia of that, all that is, what's the specs of that. I got to figure out equipment insurance, because this is my equipment. If something happens, I need to be able to make sure that I can have this stuff replaced. It took me a year to pay off all these speakers that I got in this joint. I ain't trying to see them things get messed up. You heard? I need to have, what if something happens to me and I hurt myself while I'm working on the roof? I got people's money in my pocket to do this event that ended up having to get canceled because I done slipped and fell off the roof. And although people sympathize with my situation, I don't change the fact that I owe people money that I've already spent, because I already rented to this and I already got to that for this event. So it's like, yo, that money's spent, yo. You know what I'm saying? I need to have that insurance that covers, tour insurance of some nature for this event. You know what I mean? That, protects me from a no-show or sickness or stuff like that. These are things that I just off of this basic conversation. Now, that might be cost prohibitive. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, fam, I can't afford it. I'm gonna have to, like I gotta rethink my strategy, because I may not be, I'm gonna have to up the amount this is gonna cost just to be able to pay for these insurances. So it's something I gotta carry all year, or does this event to event, or all of those things. But, I'm just saying that, and I know that I'm gonna get the answer from you, but I'm just saying that for somebody young or whoever is starting in business, again, I'm allowing myself to be a case study. You heard? Like, I'm not getting on with the smoke and mirrors, and like I could have BS my way through this whole conversation and just sound like I know what I'm talking about, and it's all good, because it wasn't like she was asking me nothing that she wasn't explaining before she asked it. But I'm saying, instead of that, let's look at the situation and say, yo, fam, are you me right now? Are you me saying, yo, oh snap, I don't have these things. Oh snap, I didn't know, I didn't even know these things existed to know that I was going to need these things for the thing I'm doing. Or did I just have a dope idea and a passion for something and ran with that and didn't consider the impact of not having something that's commonplace as insurance? Or did I even understand the scope of what insurance does and what I would need it to do in my life? And if you're not thinking like that as you're watching this, then use this opportunity to start including that into your thing. And if that means you got to slow down what you're doing, if that means that you can't move on the idea that you had yesterday, that you know it's a great idea, but if you just did it sloppy, it could happen right now. But if you do all this other stuff, it's like, yo, by the time I get that done, somebody else gonna have the idea. No, by the time you get that done, somebody else is gonna have got all them things put in place. They're gonna put all that stuff in motion, and they'll be protected. And by the time you rush to do it, you're just gonna be easy bread for somebody to come along and not only take all of what you got from getting it, if you even get anywhere with it, but you can be put into a position of less than zero. If I do an event in my house and somebody hurt themselves at my house, that would put me in a position of less than zero. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a dope idea, and it's got the potential to provide a lot of opportunity for me because it already has. but mitigating, weighing that against the potential tragedy that could occur on a simple matter. Somebody just trip in a pile in a little. I got a terrier. I got a pit bull. So she like to dig. That stuff become invisible. You don't be like seeing where she dug at with the grass. You would sit there and walking and stepping with them little ruts and break your ankle. Who you going to school? Who I'm going to call? Ghostbusters? Got it, and that's. So I'm just saying, like, yo, take it to heart. Like, this is an important conversation. This is an important podcast. It's one of the reasons why I've been so gung-ho and believing in it and wanting to support to whatever extent that I could within the scope of my ability, is because I think that I knew for myself how deficient I am on that kind of information. And I imagine that there's a lot more people out here like that, like me. And we need you, sis.
I appreciate that.
We need you.
And I appreciate all your support. Now, you have mentioned beats and bars.
Yes.
Please let everybody know about beats and bars. Let everybody know if you got something coming up soon, some album drop. What you got going on?
Well, my first thing I got coming up is I got to put my little pennies aside. I got to make sure everything is insured. Yo, I'm so shook right now, yo. I don't even want to talk about nothing I'm doing because I'm scared it's in danger right now, right? But I got April 25th through the 27th. I have an event called Beats and Bars Barbecue. I hold it here at my home. And this is the 3rd year running. It started off as the space that we're in right now, which is my studio. I built this myself. It was just a shed with just shed walls, you know what I mean? And the little halfway electric thing that they did in it. So I rewired it and insulated it and drywalled it and all that other fly stuff and decorated it, added a bathroom to it and all that sort of stuff. And I was so proud of it. I was like, yo, I invited everybody to come see it, yo. So I had a barbecue in March 28th. You know what I'm saying? Is when I had this barbecue. It's freezing outside. And it rained the night before, so it was just miserable. And we had a time. We had so much fun. And everybody was like, yo, this is like a festival. Like, everybody was so inspired by it, and it was so inspiring that I came back and did it last year. And the project last year was my garden and my outdoor kitchen, and I did a little stage deck, and very nice looking, it looked beautiful. And we had perfected the garden that year, because that was my intent. Like, I wanted to get the garden. I wasn't gonna do Beats and Bars last year, but I did it anyway, and it was a vibe. So the first year was inspiring, the second year was a vibe, and this year is gonna be a triumph, because this year I'm doing the biggest renovation project of all, which is my roof and all this other stuff, like the whole house I've done. And I am also really having some great people coming out. The popularity of the event has increased. People are very excited. A lot of people come, a lot of surprise guests. We don't build Beats and Bars Barbecue around who's coming. It's about you gonna be there. If you're gonna be there, we're gonna have a good time.
Right.
It's you that's fun. You know what I'm saying? You's what make the crowd. Even for an entertainer, the best entertainer, you get on stage, if the crowd don't say ho when you tell them to say ho, the performance is gonna be lackluster. The energy from the crowd is just as important as the entertainer. You know what I'm saying? And so we usually just promote the fact that it's a great time, and it's a kickback. It's a great space to be in, to be around people like-minded that love hip-hop, grew up on hip-hop. And we're older now, so we want to have events that more cater to, our sensibility now. Like, go to the club, the show don't start till 12. Like, son, it don't start till 12? And what time am I supposed to perform? There's nobody that want to see me that's going to be up at 2 o'clock to watch me perform. Fam. I'm pretty sure of that, yo. It's not happening. You get me on the 8. That's when I need to be performing. Yeah, let me just, I'll call it in. But this is an event that really speaks to a more mature audience. But it's fun for the younger people too, because young people come as well, and we just have fun together. It's like a family reunion. It's more than a barbecue, less than a festival, but somewhere in between there, a happy medium. So that's coming up next, and also around that time, I hope to be delivering to people my new album called The Eye of God. It's gonna feature some dope people like Do It All from Lords of Underground, Taj from Souls of Mischief, I Kill from the Jurassic 5. I got features with, some Mix-a-Lot, Raheem from Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, and a few other people, man, you know what I'm saying, sprinkled in here, like SOB, freaking my cousin Cheddar Bang. It's a dope project, man. It's produced by this brother named Manny Styles. Most of the production is by Manny Styles, but also B-Boy Wicked and the great Jesse West, Third Eye Productions. He produced a couple of tracks on it as well. And I'm really excited to release it. It's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? You've heard some of it. So.
Man.
and it's a dope project. I'm proud of it. I feel confident based on what I hear in the world right now that people are gonna really enjoy it. So I'm excited about that. I'm also right now doing a project called 12, and it's 12 songs I'm gonna be doing over 6 months. I'm releasing a song every other week. So this week I actually released a song called Lay Down, Stay Down, and I'm actually gonna shoot a video for it in the next few days. And so I'll be doing that like something every other week. It'll be something dope that I put out on that regard. And I'm working on a play with Dinko D, a leader of the new school, who will be at Beats and Bars Barbecue. I Kill from Jurassic 5, who will also be at Beats and Bars Barbecue. And it's like a play. It's a play formatted hip-hop performance. So it takes the time out in the performance to speak about, like, it gives context to the songs that we're doing. And, and that context being, brothers that's engaged in this culture and still love it, but we're men of a certain age now. And is there a place in this thing for us still? Or have we outgrown it, or has it outgrown us? You know what I mean? And what it means to be someone that is addicted to it, for lack of a better term, that you can't let it go because it's such a part of you. It's like, I don't want to let this go. And so all new music, you know what I'm saying? And then in the end, we jammed to some of the old joints everybody knows from. So, that's the thing with Dinko D. You can think of some songs he's been on that he can start throwing off, like Scenario and PTA and things like that. Myself, Blue Cheese, One to Grow On, I Kill. And it's going to be crazy. So that's something that we're doing. And that is my efforts to create a chitlin circuit for hip-hop artists that may not be always the frontline people that you think to expect to see, but it'd be people like, yo, whatever happened to them? I love to see them do something. I want to be able to hire those people to work.
So where can people get tickets? How can they find out about this information?
They can get all the information about Beats and Bars Barbecue on my website, Kool Kim, UMC.com, KOOLKIM, UMC.com. And everything will be there. All the stuff I'm talking about that's within banging in the Rhymes' Life, which is the play that I'm talking about. There'll be more information coming up for that, because the first gig of that's gonna be in Juneteenth in Connecticut. But we'll actually be doing Rhymes' Life here in Augusta for Beats and Bars Barbecue. That's gonna be on Friday the 25th at a spot called Grand Ski Records, and it's sponsored by the Boom Bap Hour, Beats and Bars Barbecue, and Insure Your Bag podcast. You heard? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Lord. You heard? And so, that's going down. So, and on Beats and Bars Barbecue, when we do that, Shabam Sadiq will be an additional name on there, SOB, and some of the other cats that's popping in. They're going to probably want to get on the mic and do their big one. So, that's what's going down there.
I'm excited. Let me let you know. The album drop, I can't wait for it. It is absolutely
The Eye of God.
Dope. The Eye of God is so dope. It's fire. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Cannot wait.
Thank you.
Beats and Bars, I will be there.
Yes, and this is gonna be, and you're gonna be doing this. You're gonna speak about some of the stuff that you was quizzing me on and embarrassing me on your podcast. Let me just say that she came all the way to my house just to like put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? I should have had Nancy Cavett insurance. So this way I can insure myself against any kind of like, you know, her come on here and have asking me a bunch of hard questions about insurance. Hard not because the questions is hard, but hard because I realize I ain't got none of that.
We're gonna make sure you're right. We're gonna make sure you're right.
It's my pleasure. I'm so happy that you came out. I'm happy that I've had the experience to sit and talk with you and to see how your podcast is. And also to be confronted with some of what your podcast represents. I'm really proud of you that this is what you're doing, and I want to thank you as a member of your community, as a black man striving to do something with himself. I want to thank you because as a community, these are the institutions that we need. People that can stop gatekeeping and take the time to explain to us and help us to understand these very important components of everyday living that we're not taking advantage of. I'm thinking about insurance and my big things like, yo, I heard you can borrow money against this and that. Like, I'm thinking about that. You talking about insurance issues that's like, shit, I don't got nothing together. Like, hold up, I'm out here naked. Cash to spend that money on a firearm. If somebody get the drop on you and you got a gun, you don't have a gun. You know? If I run up on you and I pull out on you and you got your gun in the glove compartment, you don't have a gun at all. You understand what I'm saying? But I spent $500 on a 6 hour, or I spent $1,000 on it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I could be driving on the road, get into an accident. Clearly, the accident got the drop on me. I have insurance. My bag is insured. Whether they got the drop on me or not, whether I was prepared for it or not, that I had the insurance, I was automatically prepared by default. And I'm not saying it to be facetious, or even I'm saying it because I'm speaking to myself right now. I'm realizing the depth of that truth in this moment. Like, damn, like that's because I really do have guns. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, it doesn't matter. Oftentimes when I'm walking around with the thing, I'm like, yo, it don't matter that I have a gun. If somebody get the drop on me, that's it. He's up on you. He take your gun from you. You know what I'm saying? But they can't take your insurance from you if it's paid.
Right. That's facts.
So thank you for your hard work and your contribution to the community. I'm proud of you, pal.
Thank you. Much love. Very much appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is your friendly neighborhood fly guy, Kool Kim, a.k.a. NYOIL Ideal. It's my pleasure to talk to you all, and I approve this message.
Thank you, everybody. I will be digging further, going into more depth about the different insurances that was discussed.
Yes.
The ones that Kool Kim got right. And he only in the couple that he got wrong.
The one that I got wrong.
My bad. The one you got wrong. So please look for me on TikTok, Insure Your Bag. Look for me on Facebook, Insure YB. And look for me on the gram, Insure Your Bag podcast. And all that additional information will be coming up. So.
And then after all said and done, if anybody want to battle, all y'all MCs out there, y'all want to see what's up?
Alert! This is a Beats and Bars barbecue alert. Alert! This is a Beats and Bars barbecue alert.
When you go down and stay down, home team, you was bad enough to keep your mouth shut. Because if you ain't got nothing but time and opportunity,
It's on.
you might need to go live or something too, just so I can make sure it ain't no take backs, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we haven't even started ramping this thing up. You understand? We in still cool out mode. We still getting the sleep off from them long drives y'all took in them airplane things. So I want y'all to just be relaxed, kick it, vibe. Don't be them, don't sequester yourself. We all here to chill and enjoy. This is a family event. All right? You see my wife cooking for y'all. Ain't nothing but love. She been waiting to cook for y'all for months now.
Yeah!
She's so fired up, Stan. Yo, I'm happy to be in service of hip hop. Let me just say that. But let me talk my shit, all right? What is happening, what we're talking about is in a minute, I'm going to get on that grill. Now, I'm chilling right now because I'm trying to mingle and trying to make sure stuff is together so this and that and the third, there's things that got to happen. There's an operation going on here. Well, let me explain something to you. When I get on this grill, you're going to find out something about me that clearly y'all don't know. I am the one true Iron Chef of hip-hop. Everybody know what time it is with Kool Kim, the Iron Chef of hip-hop. Now, I've established this before. I have taken people out before. They tried me before. I bodied them. I'm going to show y'all firsthand what this cooking game be like. If you want to get on the grills, or y'all DJs, y'all want to get behind the grill, this is what a DJ system is here, is the grill. So if you want to get on the ones and twos and see what it do, come see the Iron Chef of hip-hop, the one and only Kool Kim. Right here, we going Iron Chef of hip hop. We gonna talk about this more, but I just thought I would put this in the air so y'all know. Whoever want that smoke, we got the grill.
Thank you for watching Ensure Your Bag podcast. Make sure you hit that button, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned every Saturday for more information on how to secure your bag.